What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news and we keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the world, which is going crazy right now. We've just had an attempted assassination on a former president, President Donald Trump. That is right. Of course, we all know that. We all know what's going on with that. But however, we've got some breaking news on this. Check this out, y'all. This is insane. Officials. Iran threat prompted increased protection of Trump, but Saturday attack appears unrelated. Now, okay, so wait a second. Hang on, we got to rewind the wheels here just a little bit because what? Iran is trying to assassinate Donald Trump. Now, of course, we know that Donald Trump had one of their top generals assassinated when he was the president. I forget how many years ago it was now, 5-6 years ago. Soleimani was killed because he was an outright threat to our national security. Of course, the entire state of Iran is a threat to our national security. These people want to blow us off the map, and they may have good reasons for doing so, right? We put our fingers into places that we really shouldn't be putting our fingers into. In other words, why do we meddle in Middle East affairs? I have no idea why we do this. For some reason, these arrogant politicians seem to think we're the world police. Donald Trump gets dumped into a situation where, okay, now he's looking at all these people that want to kill us. What are you going to do about it? Donald Trump isn't the type of guy to play around, right? He's going to push the freaking nuke button and blast you out of the damn sky, blast you off the ground, blow you completely off the map. Not necessarily nuke. I know I said nuke, but nuke can be used in many different frames of reference, if you will. But he blew this guy off the map. Literally pushed start, click down to end, hit end game, and then click start again, and ended the damn game, ended his life, right? Threat to national security. Call it whatever you want. However, I don't necessarily agree with things like this, right? I don't think we should be meddling in places. That's why I do like Donald Trump and hopes that he goes with his America first and puts America first, tries to keep his fingers out of meddling in Middle Eastern affairs or European affairs, right? We need policy. We don't need military action. In other words, we need to go and negotiate with these people. We don't need to go and start firing bullets, for God's sakes. That's what I think. I don't know if Trump thinks that way. I know once you get put into the situation, being the president of the United States, sometimes you have to pull the trigger, and sometimes you have to do things such as that, and it can't be helped. I guess that's going to be my excuse, but let's get into it because this is nuts, y'all. Just the theories around this, right? Like, this makes this situation way more complicated. Way more complicated. A threat from Iran prompted moves by the U.S. Secret Service to boost protection around Donald Trump before Saturday's attempted assassination of the former president, which appears unrelated to the original threat, according to two U.S. officials. Hang on now. Okay, so now they're saying that ever since this threat, which has been for the past few weeks, which actually has been for the past few years, but they've just got some recent intel, according to CNN, that there was an assassination coming down the pipeline. So they boosted Secret Service protection around Donald Trump. And, okay, so if that's what boosted Secret Service protection around a person looks like, I would hate to see what laxed protection around somebody looks like, right? Like, there were so many epic failures. It was a catastrophic failure, or it was done on purpose. You know, you pick. Which one? Either one, heads need to roll, people need to be fired. A lot of stuff needs to happen. We need to rethink the Secret Service as it is. Needs to be restructured, moved around. We need to get political actors out of these offices because apparently Miss Kimberly Cheadle, the director of the USSS, is a very political actor. And we know, folks, I've covered it. I've covered all the committee hearings, all the confirmation hearings. The people that the Biden administration puts into office, they are nothing but radical zealots, left-wing nut jobs, if you will. These people are very progressive, very far left-wing, and they are very political. That is not what we need running our federal government. Our federal government, for God's sakes, these people can't seem to understand this, does not need to be filled with political actors, right? There is this thing out there in the United States, and there's a lot of these people that are just normal people that have an everyday opinion that fall kind of in the middle of the road. Yeah, a little bit over here, a little bit over there, but mostly down the middle. Why can't places like the Biden administration, the Trump administration? That's one of my criticisms of Trump. He hires way too many idiots. Or he did hire way too many idiots. I don't think Trump's going to make that mistake this time. I think Trump, right with his vice presidential pick, he's already off to a good start. Off to a very good start. And hopefully, I'm really wanting to see Vivek Ramaswamy somewhere in there. But so back to the topic at hand. The Biden administration puts way too many political actors into these offices. That's not what we need. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. These people need to be gone. I don't understand why these politicians think that putting a progressive, doesn't matter which way, you can be hardcore right conservative person, we don't need that, right? We don't need that. We need middle of the road people, apolitical people to be put at the tops of these organizations. Somebody who has for the U.S. Secret Service, somebody who has, espionage background, security background, these types of things, military background, but somebody who is not very political, that will focus on the job and do the damn job. Because obviously the Secret Service does not care about protecting people. If you have a threat from a foreign nation, an open border for God's sakes, and you allow some deranged idiot, some young kid, to climb up on a roof with a gun and shoot at a former and incumbent president, possibly incumbent, soon to be president, if you will, and that is allowed to happen, we have some issues with your so-called security. Upon learning of the threat, the Biden administration reached out to senior officials at the Secret Service to make them aware. The officials said, adding it was shared with the lead agent on Trump's protection detail and the Trump campaign. That prompted the agency to surge resources and assets to protect Trump. The officials spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence matters. I don't believe that whatsoever. Right? There's no way that they got in touch, say, hey, there's this active threat from Iran of assassinating your guy over here. So that makes, once again, like I said in the beginning of the video, we have more questions now. We have a lot more questions now. It's not just that, how was this allowed to happen? We've been going over all of the damn, the failure here. There's so many failures that have to be put into place for something like this to happen. And then once you see all these failures, you're like, okay, so it's somewhat believable that you can get step after step failures. Okay, maybe I'll buy into that. Okay. But now that this story is coming out, this is outright insane. Once again, if Kimberly Cheadle is not fired over this, then, folks, if you vote for Joe Biden again, that outright means, literally, you do not care about this country. You do not care about the safety of Joe Biden, for God's sakes. Because if they can fail Donald Trump this epically, do you think they can't fail Joe Biden? Do you think they can't fail Jill Biden or Trump Jr. or anybody that gets Secret Service protection? This is just, words really can't describe how much of an epic failure this is. The additional resources did not prevent Saturday's attack at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania that left Trump injured to the ear, killed one rallygoer, and several injured, and severely injured two more, As we have said many times, we have been tracking Iranian threats against former former Trump administration officials for years, dating back to the last administration, said National Security Council spokesperson Adrian Watson. These threats arise from Iran's desire to seek revenge for the killing of Qasem Soleimani. We consider this a national and homeland security matter of the highest priority. Trump ordered the killing of Soleimani, who led the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force in 2020. At this time, law enforcement has reported that their investigation has not identified ties between the shooter and any accomplice or co-conspirator, foreign or domestic, Watson added. That is very interesting. That is extremely interesting. Right, we got reports that they finally got into the shooter's phone, and guess what? No leads whatsoever. Now, we had another report earlier today. I don't know if you guys have caught this, but apparently they knew about this guy with a gun in the area for almost 30 minutes. So, once again, do you really expect me to believe that this was just epic failure after failure after failure after failure? It's getting harder and harder to believe that. Once again, I'm not a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? But, you know, when you look at all the facts, you look at what's going on, you see stories like this, all this information is coming out. What do you do with all this information, right? It is getting harder and harder to believe this, considering they had boosted protection. There was a threat from Iran, for crying out loud. Like, okay, so he had boosted protection. What if he wouldn't have had boosted protection? You know, would this guy have maybe possibly even gotten away with it? Like, once again, like I said earlier, if this is boosted protection, I'd really hate to see what normal protection is, right? Like, what does their normal security detail even look like? You know, from what I understand, you can't get anywhere near Donald Trump without getting outright just about strip searched. Right? They go and canvass these areas before all these rallies. They supposedly secure any possible sniper spots and all this other garbage, right? But just so happen to miss this one building, right? Like, once again, I don't know what's going on here. I don't have any grand conspiracy theory for you. I'm not a grand conspiracy theorist. I like to take the corporate press narrative, fact check it, work it out logically, and then, work through it through logic, basically. But when you get all this information that we've got about this situation, it really blows my mind that you could have so many systematic failures here to lead to Trump getting shot in the ear, a man's head blown off just about, 2 people severely injured outside of 1 death. It's mind-boggling, once again, that nobody's been fired over this yet. Like, really? I hope and pray to God that Trump has at least 20 more Secret Service agents protecting him. Right? Like, I wonder what the security arrangement at the RNC that's currently going on is right now. Okay, I bet it's outright insane. It's got to be outright insane, if you ask me. But I just wanted to bring you guys that breaking news. That just broke like an hour or so ago, as far as I know. But that's just, it's crazy, right? Like, just so happens that the Secret Service or the CIA or whoever got this intelligence got some recent intelligence a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, and told the Secret Service about this, and they still had these epic failures. This is just utter insanity going on, y'all. Like, the incompetence, the sheer incompetence of these people knows no bounds. But I think I've ran my mouth for long enough on this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section, because to me, this is just outright insane. And once again, it blows my mind. I'm constantly thinking about this, like trying to work through all this in detail. Like, how could this happen? how could this happen? Okay, I can see how that would happen. I can see blah, blah, blah. None of it's making any sense whatsoever, right? And I'm listening to podcasts and other people talk about it, and I'm like, getting ideas here and there, and it's like, okay, so it's mind-boggling. It would not surprise me. I know I'm trying to end the video, and I'm still going, but it would not surprise me to find out 10, 15 years down the road that this was a CIA plot. Really wouldn't surprise me at this point, considering what we know about JFK. But, like I said, I guess that's my grand conspiracy theory. There you go. It's a CIA plot. Boom. Either that, or it's an Iranian plot, and we just haven't figured it out yet. But that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.